Hi, all. Tonight's notes hopefully go a little quicker, but really just more examples to get you practicing. So, my suggestion would be try these first before you look at my notes with them as well as I go through it. So, I might pause right here. I'm going to put these three, and then here's the fourth one. So, if you want to pause there for a second, you can write those down, try them yourself, and then compare to what I show you right now with your notes with it. So we're still using, sorry, this one's a 9, the same steps that we used before. You may not use all of them. So like this one, there are no parentheses, so I don't have to distribute. I'm just looking at, I need to move the variable to the other side. So the smaller of the two of 6x and 5x is 5x. So I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. So 6 minus 5 is 1x. You want to put the 1, you can. Not needed. 3 drops down. The 5x's turn into 0 and cancel out. I have a 10 over here. And then after this turns into one more step for the problem. So now I subtract 3 from both sides, and I end up with x equals 7. Voila. Okay. Second one just looks different. That's really it. So a lot of people like to move this over. I'm going to show you that in a second. But first, my suggestion again is to move the smaller of the variables. So negative 2 is smaller. Therefore, you add 2x to both sides. And we get 9. Those cancel. Equals 7 plus 2 is 9x. Again, this turns into one more step. 9 divided by 9 is 1. On the other side, you get x. So some people are like, well, that looks weird. 1 equals x. Do you want to flip it? Sure, you can. X equals 1. And now, if you are just I always move things from the right to the left. Here's my caution with that. So I'm going to redo this problem. Say you subtract 7x from both sides, and you get 9 plus 9x equals. And over here, people say, oh, no, there's nothing left on that side. You're right. And we got a number for nothing. It's 0. So you add the 0 in there. This adds an extra step, though, now, because I need to subtract 9 from both sides to get the 9x by itself, then divide by 9. Do that right? Something is wrong here. I'll double check in a second. Oh, this should be negative 9x. That's why. I did negative 2. There we go. Minus 7 is negative 9x. Divide by negative 9, and I get a positive 1 because 2 negatives divide to be a positive. More work, more likely to make a mistake. I would look at that way first. Okay? All right, moving on. Next one we got here. So these are all together. I do have some parentheses, so I need to distribute first. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. I drop down the 2x. On the right side, I have negative 6x minus 2. This one is going to use most of our steps. Combine like terms. Remember, you do that only on each side. So 2x plus 2x, like terms here. Not the negative 6x, because that's on the other side of the equation. So I get 4x minus 8 equals negative 6x minus 2. Those are the only like terms. 8 here, no other constants. Over here, no like terms at all. My recommendation again, move the smaller variable, which is negative 6x. Smaller than 4 since I have variables on both sides. So to do that, I add 6x to both sides. 4 plus 6x gives me 10x. The minus 8 drops down. Over here, we have negative 2. I need to isolate the x, so I'm going to add 8 to both sides. We get 10x equals negative 2 plus 8 is 6. And we're almost done. I'd say this is the last step, but it's not. We got to be careful here. To get the x by itself, I divide both sides by 10. Now, I said fractions are good. 6/10 is a fraction, but I want to simplify. So I look and say, okay, how do I know it simplifies? Well, does anything divide into 6 and 10? Yes. 10 and 6 are both divisible by 2. So if I divide both parts by 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3, 10 divided by 2 is 5. That would be my answer, 3/5. Okay. All right, last one. Fractions, yay, or boo. Get rid of the fractions. How do we do that? Well, the only denominator, we find the least common denominator, or multiple, it's the same thing, just with denominators if you have fractions. I'm going to multiply everything then by 2, including these constants. So everything, if I'm going to try to get rid of that fraction, I need to multiply all of the parts by that 2. So in this case, 2 divided by 2 cancels out. I'm left with 1x. Could leave the 1 if you want. 3 times 2 is -6. Here, the 2's cancel. I'm left with just 3x. And then 4 times 2 gives me 8. Okay, so I again have variables on both sides of the equation. So I'm going to move the smaller one. 1 is smaller, so I subtract 1x from both sides. So I get -6 equals 3 minus 1 gives us 2x plus 8. But now we're dealing with a problem with no fractions. I subtract 8 from both sides, so I get -14 equals 2x. To finish it out, I divide by 2. I'll put it up here. So I get -7 equals x. If you want to flip it, x equals -7, that's fine. I'd take that too. Okay, so just some more practice with ones that require more steps. That's really what we're looking at for today's lesson with it, and we're going to practice more of it today in class, or not today, I guess on Monday. Nope, you're off Monday. Tuesday, we'll practice it more in class as well. So that's today's lesson. Make sure you get the notes on it. Again, my suggestions, start them first before you write them. And we'll see you guys in class. Thanks.